Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC Middleweight Champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
I'm sweating like a pig, Anthony Smith. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the Believe You Me podcast. It is Tuesday, not Monday. It is departure day to Fight City for Anthony Smith. But more importantly, it's Anthony Smith's birthday. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thanks, dude. It's a fucking good day. You know how long I've been waiting for this goddamn day? I don't even give a shit that it's my birthday. It is travel day. We can get all this media shit out of the way and go. It's like you just wait for this day. You just go, you get there, you get your workouts in at night, you slowly get your weight down. It's a long hangout sesh with your boys and just get it going.
Yeah, just get it going. Well, exactly, because all the hard work's done now. Now it's just fun. What's been the hardest part of this training camp? And don't say doing the podcast.
No, it's been, I think just the difference in training has been like, I don't think I'm pulling a curtain back here. I think we all know what's going to happen when that bell rings. It's going to be fucking chaos. And I think just getting myself physically prepared for it has been the toughest part. Typically, you know, I'm trying to be the clean tactical technician. You know what I mean? I'm trying to sharpen that sword, and we got all these plans and just trying to stick to the game plan. And I'm not doing that this fight. I didn't do that this training camp. I don't know, man. I just prepared myself for a fucking battle. And I've said this over and over and over and over again. I'm going to set that fucking octagon on fire, and I'm not going to be the first one to step out of it. So mentally and physically, like, I had to prepare myself for that. And so it's been real tough.
I mean, come on. If that is not a promo for a fight, I don't know what is. Holy shit. So basically, you've prepared yourself for every eventuality. You're just going to go out there. You're going to fight on instinct. Obviously, you're going to be the aggressor. You're going to take the fight to him. And what will be, will be. And hopefully you're ready, no doubt you are, for any situation that comes your way.
Yeah. I made sure of a couple things. I wanted to make sure that I was stronger than I've ever been. The numbers, that's easily, you know what I mean? It's easy to figure that out.
Yep.
Conditioning wise, I needed to make sure that I could put my foot on the gas and not have to let up at all. And I made sure that I did that. And so, you know how it is, like certain fights, you have to bring certain, like, different tools to the fight. And I don't think this isn't one of those fights where I need to be really mindful of my P's and Q's. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not fighting Glover Teixeira where we got to, like, really, really be careful for this one technique that he does really well. Or, you know, John Jones was different. There's a couple things you got to worry about. Alexander Gustafsson, you got the uppercut and the movement you got to worry about. Ankalaev's he's not that type of a fighter. He's very well-rounded, but there's not one thing that just really stands out. So I needed to completely across the board make sure that all my weapons were sharp, but really just make sure that I'm stronger, that my conditioning is better, and that I can push hard for 15 minutes. I don't, maybe it's because it's fight week and I'm fucking crazy confident and I'm feeling really good, but I don't think there's a guy in the division that can beat me in a 15-minute fight.
Well, that's how you're supposed to be feeling the day you're flying off to the fight. So well done. And the conditioning, I always say that's the most important factor. Of course, you got to know how to fight. You got to know all your skills, and you do. You're a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You got God knows how many submissions. You can wrestle. You can strike. You can do all that shit. But then if you're not in the best shape possible, that's when shit starts to go wrong. And when you are, and when you're strong, and when you're fit, and you're ready mentally as well, it's a good place to be, buddy. It's a good place to be.
It's a fucking good. And I think that's why I feel so good. Like, there's nothing he does that, like, has kept me up at night. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the biggest thing? What's the biggest threat? The wrestling, you think?
No, I don't. It's his pressure. Like, I can't let him walk me down like he does everybody else. And that's where that fucking battle's going to be.
Yep.
It's going to be in the first 10 seconds because he wants to take the center and walk me to the cage. That's his box. That's his safe zone. He does it to everyone, and he just walks them around the octagon and picks his shots from the outside, and it kind of leaves you trapped because you don't really have anywhere to go. I'm not letting him fucking do that. That's not happening. And that's where that battle's going to be. It's going to be a dick swinging competition for a little bit because he's not going to want to take a back step, and neither am I.
No.
And I'm 100% confident that at some point in time, he's going to have to.
I cannot wait. I'm excited. I mean, it's a good fight card, but for me, this is the one that stands out. Obviously, I'm biased. You know, we work with you, we're friends, but it's just a fucking great fight, you know. And have you heard any rumblings from the UFC that if you're, or when you are victorious, you know, you get a title fight eliminator or something like that, or even straight to a title shot? Have you heard anything?
You know, a while ago, maybe a month ago, Dana said on a podcast that this is the number one contender fight. Things change over time, and,
Of course.
and you know, I totally understand that. I know that Glover's really pining for a rematch, and that's one of those situations where it's like, God damn, it's hard to really say anything about that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the dude's just such a good guy, so you don't want to kind of shit on him. But I think that the reason they haven't booked Yuri in a title fight is I think they're waiting on this one to see what happens. You know, if it's a snooze fest like Ankalaev sometimes gets into, you know, I think that they'll go a different direction. But if what happens, I don't think they're going to have a choice. I don't think there's a choice. They don't have an option.
If you come out like you did against Ryan Spann, oh, I can't wait, because you were a fucking maniac. You were terrifying in that fight in the best way possible. You came out, you were on fire, and it sounds like you're going to be.
And I'm better now.
Let's go.
I feel like even though I'm 34 years old today, I feel like I'm just getting into my prime. Like I've always kind of been a little bit of a late bloomer, but I feel like I'm like physically and mentally I'm in the best place that I've ever been, and things are clicking and it's just coming together. Sometimes it's kind of scary. Like there's been a few times in the gym where I'm like, fuck, this is going too good. Like I feel like I'm way ahead of schedule, and I just decided just to, you know, step back and just let it be what it is.
Well, you will be just entering your prime now, because obviously 34, you're still a young man. But every time you do a training camp, you get better. You apply yourself, you work on different things, different game plans, different strategies, different skills. But not only that, then you learn about yourself, how hard you should push it. Because after every training camp, you can look back and say, wow, I did this wrong. I did that wrong. My mental approach was all wrong as well. You know, and it's a learning thing. You know, it's a trial and error almost. Every time you do it, you learn a bit about yourself. That's why you want good coaches, experienced coaches. But ultimately, you're the one in there, and it's your body, and you know how it feels and what, you know, it best responds to. And as I said before, the mental approach as well. You know, and taking days off, having a little rest, swimming with goddamn turtles in Aruba. If that's what makes you happy.
I got my Aruba shirt on. Look
There we go. Well, I can't wait for it, mate. Very, very excited. So we'll be watching very, very closely. Harrington, welcome to the show. Brian McKay, hope you both well. Harrington, what's going on in the world? So I thought something got me. Well, I'll tell you what it is. Let's start with this lottery, because I saw it this morning on the news. $810 million.
Holy shit. Did someone win it?
No, the Mega Millions drawing is tonight. So if you want to get in, you still have a couple hours to purchase a ticket before the drawing. I believe it's 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight.
Hell yeah, I'm getting one.
I was going to say, could you imagine Anthony Smith on his birthday buys a ticket, kicks the fuck out of Magomed Ankalaev, and then wins $810 on the lottery? I'm never working with you again. What would be the first thing you would buy, Anthony, if you got $810 million? What would be the first thing?
$810 million. The first, I would buy like a compound, like an entire city.
Way better answer than I could have came up with. It'll be very manly. I'm sure you're going to have toys and animals and herds of camels. Continue.
Yeah, just buy my own little city and just, I don't know, move all my friends in. And then you just have like a, I don't know, sounds kind of culty now that I said it out loud.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking cool. Just buy like this huge place and a city and just build all your friends and family houses and just fuck off and do whatever the hell you want.
Anthony Smithville, where only real men are allowed. But you know what? If you were doing that, though, do you know what I saw on the news this morning? And this is crazy. $810 million in the state of California. What do you think you'll walk away with from that after tax?
Probably 400.
$310 million.
Are you serious?
You get taxed $500 million. You get $500 million. You win at 800, they take $500 million of it off you in taxes. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Listen, it's still $310 million.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably make it work still, I guess,
God.
if I had to. I could pinch some pennies.
You'd have to make the compound a little smaller, maybe invite a few
Yeah.
less people, 1 or 2 less livestock, but you'd still be okay.
Is it different if you take it over a long period of time?
I actually have zero idea. Zero
Because I
idea.
think that's like an option with the lottery, right? You can take it in one lump sum, but you get taxed out the fucking ass. But if you take it over like installments over a long period of time, I think you get taxed less.
However, your money over time is worth less, so it's better to take all the money up front.
And if you took it all up front, you could make that work for you in such a way. If you got a smart guy handling the cash, they could they could turn that into a lot of dough.
Yeah, you could fuck off $100 million to some real good advisor, and they could make a shit ton.
And they could rob you blind and never see you again. But this is life. This is life.
That's life.
We got to get into this UFC London business at the weekend. My God, what a main card. Absolutely unbelievable. The hype was, or the question was, will it live up to the UFC London event in March? The reality is nothing could have lived up to that, because right from the get-go, the first fight finished in about 45 seconds. It was finish after finish after finish. The UFC hadn't been back to London in 3 years. You know what I mean? The fans were so thirsty. Now, don't get me wrong. It delivered. The main card was sensational. The atmosphere was absolutely electric. But the prelims, there was a lot of decisions. Some of them weren't the most exciting and outstanding fights, even though they were very technical battles. They weren't the type of things that get the fans going out of the mind. So the atmosphere wasn't quite the same. But when it started, your mate, Paul Craig, and another mate of yours, Volkan Oezdemir, I was impressed with Paul Craig. His stand-up had got better, and I thought if he used stand-up more, he would have had more success. I was very impressed with his chin, his ability to take the shots of Volkan, because, as we know, he is a knockout artist and hits very, very hard. Craig landed some great shots, but I'm going to allow you to jump in now, but just obviously we know his jiu-jitsu game is what he always goes to. He leans on that, and he leans on it a little bit too much. And the thing that was kind of frustrating me is that a lot of the time he would get in deep, and by the way, I love Paul, and if you're listening to this, Paul, congrats on a great fight, so please don't be offended by what I'm going to say. But I would have liked it because he would get in real deep, beautiful timing on the entries, and then sit to his back. If he'd have just driven through with his legs, he could have actually got the takedown. And then being on top, I would love to see what he can do on top as opposed to looking for leg locks and triangles off his back.
Yeah, Paul is handicapping himself. I think he just needs a few adjustments, because if you go back and you look at even my fight with Volkan, he is very hard to take down. So I'll give him a little bit of slack there, because for whatever reason, Volkan is just really, really heavy. Like his hips, he feels way heavier than he actually is. But I ended up having to just run him across the octagon eventually and just kind of trip him up on the way, because I couldn't get him down any other way. So I understand the issues that Paul was having, but you're right. He would get in real deep, and he wasn't turning the corner. He wasn't driving through it. He just would kind of he'd hit a wall and then just pull guard. And I know he's so comfortable on his back, and he's so safe there. But eventually he was going to run into a situation where he was going to run out of time. And that's essentially what happened. He just, positionally, he was dominated. I wouldn't even say dominated, but he was losing that fight positionally. He was threatening from his back, but Volkan is defensively sound on the ground for the most part. So he's a tough guy to submit if you don't end up on top of him. So, I do think he's handicapping himself, though. His striking, it's like he doesn't have the confidence in it, because when he was letting his hands go, he looked good. You know what I mean? Like,
he looked better. His striking looked better than ever.
And
Double
Volkan's
jab,
hard
right
to hit.
hand, beautiful head kicks. He did some really good work.
And I've always given Volkan lots of credit for being more technical than he doesn't get enough credit for that. Like, when I fought Volkan, I was going in there thinking, this is just kind of a meathead. He's not going to do it. I'm not going to get into a chess match with him on our feet. And then you get in front of him, and it's very subtle and very slick, but he's setting traps, and he's tricky, and it's hard to see. So it's hard to see on film. But when you're in front of him, you're like, oh, fuck, this guy's way smarter than he gets credit for. So that said, Paul Craig was doing a really good job. I think if he was to strike more and then get people way more worried about his striking, the takedowns will come a lot easier. So I think it's a learning experience. I think Paul come out better from it.
100%. And listen,
And what a miserable way to fight. Again, I keep talking about that. Like, that is a hard fight to the pressure and to keep pushing forward, the multiple takedowns, the grappling, the submission.
I mean, in his defense, though, he might say, well, hold on, the last 6 fights, it's worked. That approach has worked. I've got the submissions, I've got the finishes, I've provided excitement. You know what I mean? And that's true. It has, Yeah. But, it wasn't enough on Saturday night against Volkan Oezdemir. But yeah, listen, that's the way it goes. It's a learning curve. I'm going to fast forward straight to the main event, right? We've got a couple of bangers in there. We've got the Paddy sensation. We've got Molly's fucking another spinning elbow to all talk about, which I'm telling you, it sent that building just, we'll get into that later. The atmosphere was just wild. Tom Aspinall fighting Curtis Blades. Jeez, listen, Tom's one of the nicest guys. Did you speak to him on here? Because we've had him on a few times. Tom's great. Tom's great. In fact, I should find it in a minute. He's a prick because I went out for dinner with him on Thursday night, him and his dad and a few of his teammates and whatnot. And they were filming the whole time, so I was being a little bit silly. I might have had a drink or two. I wasn't drunk or nothing like that. But
was that when he was about to fuck you up?
Well, yeah, that one when he was bullying me. And then I think it was the Daily Mail. So we're in this restaurant, we're having a laugh, we're having a play around a little bit of a wrestle, because we did a picture squaring up, and then he grabbed me. It was just, it was about 7 seconds of just like pummeling or whatever. Do you know what I mean? The Daily Mail post a story: Bisping and Tom Aspinall thrown out of restaurant for nearly fighting. Do you know what I mean? These fucking assholes.
Really?
Yeah. Talk about clickbait. Anyway, a lot riding on that fight. He had a sensational run. I don't need to give the fucking background. He said he was going to go at him. He did exactly that. I mean, he lived, he lived true to his word, went forward, super aggressive, trying to put Curtis on the back foot, throws a leg kick, and down he goes.
Yeah, I feel awful for both guys because that was his opportunity to, I don't know, just show how good he really was. You know what I mean? That was his gauge. I think that he's been fighting, I don't want to say subpar opponents, but he's been fighting guys that he's just significantly better than.
Yep.
I think Curtis Blades was the real test, to really see where he was at. And for Curtis Blades, the knock on him is just kind of he doesn't have that one real big sexy win that he needs to really put himself in the title contention. And I think that Aspinall is that guy. He's got the hype, he's got all the skill set, he's young, he's up and coming. I think everybody knows how good he is, and I suspected that fight was going to be pretty competitive. And then if Curtis was able to come away with the win, that's a really, really good win. So neither guy got the opportunity to do either one of those things. And
it was only 15 seconds long, but those 15 seconds were all out action. Do you know what I mean? So if that was
they didn't take any breaks.
No, it's 15 seconds. They just both went for a sprint. I think Curtis threw a few right hands. Tom was landing a couple of shots, threw a leg kick, down he went. But if that 15 seconds was anything to judge by, I would love to see them run it back. But so I walked into the cage to do the interview. And you see Tom, he's a gigantic man, 6'5", 250 odd pounds. He's a big dude and he's a friend and he's lying on the floor. And I have never seen a human in so much pain. He was howling. And they probably showed it on the octagon. He was fighting back, on the TV. He was fighting back the tears in between, like almost breaking and like crying and then screaming. And then the doctors were trying to move him to get a brace into him. And he would just shriek in absolute agony. And just to see it, I almost brought a tear to my eye. It really did. And it's just a stark reminder. Not that I'm trying to put the shits up you. You know this. That is what this sport ultimately can lead to. It's a combat sport. You know what I mean? And we're trying to hurt one another, But Tom will be back. Fingers crossed, because I thought it might be his ACL. But apparently it might be his MCL. Apparently an MCL surgery.
Which is better.
6-7 weeks, you're back in there.
Yeah, so, it's better. It's way better.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with MCL. So fingers crossed it's that. The only problem is his knee is so swollen right now that they can't scan it. You know what I mean? They're going to wait a little bit. So I saw him on Sunday. He's off to Poland for a few weeks with his family to see some family. So good for him. Go and enjoy the downtime. Curtis Blades, he was all class, I thought. You know what I mean? The crowd was booing him a little bit. I was like, come on. What did he do? There's no need to boo him. He showed up, tried to fight. Tom hurt himself. And I thought Curtis Blades was all class.
He is, man. And Curtis Blades, I think he's a little bit misunderstood at times because you read the clickbait things or you see clips of him on the internet, and sometimes it puts him in a bad light, like he's being an asshole. He's actually a really, really, really fucking nice guy. He's really soft spoken. He's kind of quiet. He keeps to himself. Um, he's super classy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I seen all that John Jones stuff that came out, and they just kept the way that these fucking media idiots, they clip it and they just take it out of context, and then no one actually reads or watches the interview, and then makes him look like he's talking shit. If you actually go and watch it, he was actually pretty complimentary of John Jones and Stipe, and you know what I mean. At the same time, it's his weight class. Of course, he's supposed to feel like that. Like, what do you want him to say? Like, yeah, John Jones is coming up here. He's going to fucking starch us all and put us all out of a job. Like, no, he believes he can win that fight.
Well, of course he does. And he would be a fool not to think so. Confidence is the number one key, which I can see is oozing out of you right now. And it's beautiful to see, Anthony. It really is. Tell me now, this morning, I guarantee the first thing you did when you got out of bed was have a piss and then step on the scale, correct?
That's so funny, yeah.
That's exactly what we all do. And what did the scale say, if you don't mind saying?
227.
227. So 21 pounds to go today. How you feel about that? That's good?
Really good, man. I'm fully fed, 100% hydrated. I haven't changed my diet at all for the most part. So once we get there, we'll start adjusting my diet a little bit. They'll start manipulating the sodium intake and the water intake and stuff like that. So I suspect, without doing anything else, just getting my workouts in and then changing my diet a little bit, I suspect Thursday night I'll be probably 213, 214.
Oh, that's nice. That's easy.
I'll float a couple overnight and get up in the morning. I'll probably have to cut from, I don't know, 210, 211.
Now, obviously, you know your body better than me, but I think you're being a bit optimistic there. But whatever, but that's what we do. Like I used to try and on the Tuesday, if I arrived at 200 pounds, I was happy. And then I would, with all the water loading and the sodium and all the little tricks that we have, I would get that to about 196. If it was 196, I was happy. Sometimes 195, I'll be, ooh, look at this. But yeah, still 9-10 pounds.
But you were cutting and dieting down to 200.
Big time.
I haven't changed anything.
Oh, that's
I'm just living my life.
So you're strong as fuck.
Yeah, I haven't changed shit. No, I'm just fucking yoked, bro. I can't wait till like that first clinch, because I get it. Like everyone's expecting the wrestling and that to be the struggle for me. And I have been going with some big, like Division I All-Americans, all of them with 100 wins or more, like heavyweights. These guys are fucking monsters. He's not them. These guys are 230, 240, 250. And like, they're not mauling me. You know what I mean? I can't wait till that first clinch when he realizes like, oh, this is going to be way harder than I thought.
Well, you've been fully fed. So, obviously the significance of that though is through a training camp, I used to always lose muscle because I was reducing carbs massively, but I had to make the weight. I should never have been at 185 really. But anyway, one thing I do love to eat is a good sandwich. Now I haven't had a Subway sandwich, from the store at Subway in quite some time. But did you know, are you a fan of Subway sandwiches now and again?
Subway started my MMA career. Have you ever heard this story?
Oh my God, no, please explain.
So when I was 17, I didn't know really shit about MMA. Like I'd convinced my grandpa to buy me some of those like UFC Ultimate DVDs at like Blockbuster Video or something, just because I thought it was fun to watch, but I wasn't like a big fight fan. And I go into a Subway with a buddy to get a sandwich. And at the end of where you pay, at the end of the counter, is these little bullshit, like real crude made like flyers for an amateur fight night. And on it was like, if you want to fight, contact this number or show up on this day at this place. And it was just like every other week they had these little, it wasn't sanctioned in Nebraska. It was just these little amateur fight nights. And all you had to do was show up, you signed up, and they matched you up as close as they could in weight and experience. There was like no commission. There was no blood testing. It was super sketchy.
Yeah.
I remember grabbing the flyer and I was like, oh, I would try that shit. And so I stuck it in my pocket, and like the show was 2 or 3 days later. So me and a buddy went up there to go watch it one time, because I was like, I'll watch it and then maybe I'll do it the next time. And when I was watching, so the announcer came into the cage and said, we need someone that weighs between 160 and 190 pounds. Well, I was like, 17, I was 180 pounds soaking wet or something. And I just raised my hand. I was like, I'll do it.
Let's go.
And they gave me some boil and bite mouthpiece, some bullshit Century gloves, a pair of basketball shorts, and that's how my career started.
Off we pop. Thank God for Subway. Let me ask you, when you're in Subway, and this is not an advert for Subway, we have a story which Harrington can explain in just a second, because I know you love a good bet, and I know you're willing to get tattoos on you. You were willing to get Fuck Harrington tattooed. Let me ask you this. Are you willing to get a life-size, a 12 by 12 tattoo of the new Subway logo on your back or on your sternum, and in return, you'll get free Subway sandwiches for life?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Not a chance. I like Subway, but not that much.
Come on and elaborate, Harrington. What is the sandwich of choice, just real quick for me? And I'm starving now. Chicken and bacon ranch, foot long on the Italian herb and cheese, chipotle, pepper jack cheese, lots of red onion, not too much lettuce. Fuck that, because it doesn't taste
light lettuce, red onion, and a shit ton of ranch.
Boom. A bit of chipotle for me.
Ooh, I'm okay with the chipotle.
I like a little spice. Yeah. But Harrington, go on.
Now I'm getting hungry. So yeah, there is the new, it's the Subway series, right? I don't know if you've seen this. They've spent a ton of money on advertising campaigns. It was on, 7 times this weekend if you were watching UFC. Well, they're taking it a step further. If you get a 2-inch by 2-inch tattoo on your wrist, bicep, or foot, you can get free subs for a month. A 3-inch by 3-inch tattoo on a shoulder blade, forearm, or calf nets you subs for a year. And as you said, Mike, the foot long, a 12-inch by 12-inch tattoo on your sternum or your back, you get subs for life. Only one person can claim the deal.
Only one?
Yeah, only one person is eligible for the deal. It's going to be at a tattoo shop in Las Vegas. So, maybe a UFC fighter takes them up on it.
Anybody? Well, if anyone in the UFC does that, I'll punch him in the face, first of all. Secondly, if you're homeless, this is a great thing to do. If you're going hungry. Is that for life? I mean, hold on. A Subway sandwich costs about what? $7 times 365. So it costs you $2,555 to buy a Subway sandwich every day for life. So they'll give you a year's worth if you get a tattoo on your wrist or something. I'm going to need more than $3,000 worth of Subway sandwiches to tattoo Subway on me. I'm sorry, that's a shit deal.
I almost got a tattoo in Aruba on a bet.
Oh God. Of what?
I did. So this is funny. So everywhere, like, I don't want to say like third world.
It sounds like a lot of fun in Aruba. Not much tattoos, bets, swimming with dolphins and turtles, massages galore,
and training.
Yeah, no, I know.
And training. So like you go to these, you know how it is. You go to like a lot of these tropical places or these smaller, maybe less fortunate countries, and there's chickens everywhere. Like everyone has a chicken. So we call chickens around here yard pimps.
Pimps. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's
explain. You do know.
I don't know. They're just like they're in everybody's yard and they just walk around. Like,
do y'all pick them up with a BB gun?
No, never.
Get fucked.
Never.
Y'all go grab a chicken anytime y'all hungry.
And then chickens that lay eggs are yard hoes. So that's what we call them. But
dirty hoes.
So it's just this long ongoing joke. So everywhere you go, hot dogs are glizzies, right? That's what you call a hot dog. So I was gonna get a tattoo of a yard pimp holding a glizzy with a gold chain on it, but they didn't have enough time to get it. Thank God. That
sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I was fucking stupid. I need to stop doing that shit.
Yeah. Well, at least you realize, but still, it does sound like a pretty funny tattoo, to be quite fair.
It would be hilarious.
A yard chicken holding a glizzy with a gold chain.
Yard pimp holding a glizzy with a gold chain.
I fucking want that image. Let's go.
Riding a sea turtle.
We've got to do a t-shirt of that. That's the t-shirt we got to do.
That would be fucking awesome.
Oh my God. Harrington, come on then. Throw something else at us before we get into Paddy.
Am I allowed to suggest a title?
Oh, of course.
Well, you got mad at me last time.
That was a joke.
Don't lie.
Oh, come on. I was very offended.
Yard pimps and glizzies.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, that way it's got to be. 100%. All right, True Bill, you know the one. You want to cancel the subscriptions, but they make it very, very hard. Do not fall for the subscription scams. Do you know that free trials, they always renew without your consent? It's a business scam to get you. As I say, don't let the greedy corporations pocket your money. Download True Bill right now to take control of your subscriptions. Truebill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for those subscriptions that you don't want or you just forgot about. On average, people are saving about $720 a year because companies, as I say, they make it hard to cancel. Truebill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in just one tap. And they have a Truebill concierge who is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions so you don't have to. Okay? Don't fall for it anymore. Do not fall for the subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/believe. Truebill.com/believe. It could save you thousands of years. Like Matthew B. In a matter of seconds, he saved $660 a year on his direct TV bill, $120 for the year on his Sirius XM bill, and $840 on his car insurance. Get involved, start saving some money, start canceling the crap you do not need. Truebill.com/believe. It can save you thousands per year. Truebill.com/believe. Should we get into this Paddy the Baddy stuff? So, when he walked out, the atmosphere in that room, I'm telling you, listen, it's still very young into Paddy's career. You know, he's only had 3 fights and he's yet to fight anyone in the top 15. So, you know, people can speculate as to how far he's going to go and all the rest of it. And that's not what I'm really talking about here. The impact he has had on this sport in such a short space of time is phenomenal. It really is. I mean, the demographic of people that he attracts, they're very, very young. You know, he says a lot of controversial shit, but he also balances that out with some beautiful messages like he did at the end, which we'll get to, I'm sure. But when he walked out, the arena all went dark, all the fucking lights in the building, the music choice, everything. And then the atmosphere and the entire crowd are all singing, "Oh, Paddy the Bad." I mean, it was pretty special, pretty epic.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird to me. Like, what is that thing that makes people like just an instant superstar like Paddy? It's such a, I don't know, it's like such a weird experiment. You know, like there's lots of guys from the UK that fight that are incredible characters that have really awesome accents, and whatever whatever it is, he's just got that thing, and I can't put my finger on it. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like the whole package just seems to come into this puzzle piece that's like the last piece of the puzzle, and it's weird, man. I love it. I love Paddy. I think he's, you know, technically, I don't think we really even know where he's at yet, and I don't think it matters, to be honest.
No, not right now, because the
now.
reality is, well, the problem for him is that he's in the toughest division in the UFC. I mean, 155 is full of absolute monsters. So we'll see where he goes. The reality is, as we said before with you and myself and most people, every training camp get better and better. So he's still young, he's still learning, he's still progressing, and you never know. You know, could he go all the way? Maybe, maybe not. Only time will tell. What is definitely going to happen, though, right? Regardless of whether or not, whether or not, no, you're quite all right. Whether or not he becomes a champion or not, he's going to make a shit ton of money. He's going to have a great career, hopefully set himself up for the future very, very well, and have had a lot of entertainment. He's funny, he's brash, he's confident, he'll call his shots, he'll talk shit, he hypes a fight, he delivers on the microphone afterwards. And, you know, like Jordan Levitt was having a lot of success in that first round, you know, and Paddy ended on top and was threatening. I think, did he threaten the rear naked choke, or was he in full mount throwing elbows? One of them. Either way. So he made it a discussion as to whether or not who won the first round. And that is disappointing if you're looking at the trajectory of Paddy. However, the way that he finished it was spectacular. I mean, I don't think it's since BJ Penn versus Jens Pulver have we seen someone take the back like that, use the body triangle to tie up one of the arms, because you're fucked. You cannot get it. Getting out of a body triangle is bad enough. When you got one of your arms thrown in the mix as well, I mean, it's almost impossible. Poor old Jordan Levitt, he was a sitting duck from that moment on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that Jordan, for the brightness in Paddy's star, Jordan Levitt giving him as many problems as he did in the first round is a little bit concerning, I think. But he's being brought along fairly slowly. So I think that this gives him opportunities to get better. The only issue is Paddy does get heavy in between fights. and I don't give a shit about how much he weighs or what he looks like or whatever. None of that stuff. Does that mean that he's not working as hard in between those fights, or is it a diet thing? So like, if he's still training and it's just a diet thing and he's kind of yo-yoing up and down, then that's one thing. He can still continue to get better. But if he's getting so heavy because he's not doing anything, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because he could be growing faster in between fights. So I'm not saying it's one way or the other. I don't actually know.
I
But
think
it's a conversation to be had.
no, and it's a really, really good point because they are two different things. You know, if you're staying in the gym, and as we said, as you're moving along in your career and progressing, your skills are also progressing. But if he's just not monitoring his diet at the same time, that's fine. But if he's just not in the gym, that is an issue, like you just said. From what I understand, he was training most of the time. I know he was out here training with Justin Flores, is it? He was down in San Diego. He was moving around. He was traveling. He was enjoying his new fame and stardom, but also working along the way. So
Good.
well done. I mean, unbelievable. And you know, I thought, I mean, to walk into that octagon and to find, he found out 4 a.m. Friday morning, whilst he was just about to start his weight cut, that one of his close friends had killed himself, committed suicide. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. I mean, can you imagine that?
What an incredible message that he gave afterwards, though. You know what I mean? That kind of,
Yep.
at a point, when I was listening to it, I was like, all right, all the other bullshit is it's just bullshit. He's confident, he's brash, he's hyping his own fight. I think some of it is him hyping himself, getting himself ready mentally. But all that shit kind of went out the window when it was a great message. It was beautifully delivered. You know what I mean?
It was.
I think a lot of people in the world can relate to that. I think a lot of people, it's touched a lot of people. So for him to use that moment to, instead of just, saying he could have just said, oh, my friend died and that was for him and went along, but to like use it as a moment to try to help people, thought it was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, because it is a real issue. And I think suicide, certainly amongst men these days. And look at that. That's a mural that was already up on Sunday that someone's done in London, I believe, quoting his words there. Well done, Brian, because I was going to say bring that up. Brian, just look up, though, the amount of men, and this is a little depressing, but it's an important thing to talk about, the amount of men that do commit suicide. You know what I mean? Young men every single year. It's fucking wild. It's getting out of control. So, I mean, as he said, if you ever do have a problem, make sure you speak to somebody because killing yourself is not the fucking answer. Jesus Christ. But yeah, really, really sad. I'm trying to think, have I ever known anyone to kill themselves? I don't think I did. I don't think I do. I've had a couple of friends pass away, but I don't think anyone that actually.
Well, and especially like the day of weigh-ins, like I find out then. When I fought my UFC debut, one of my best friends died in a motorcycle accident the night before I was supposed to fly out on that Tuesday, so like Monday night. It was awful. It was awful. It was terrible. Like it was the worst week of my life. And so like for him to be able to kind of check that and kind of put it to the back of his head and focus on the task at hand says a lot about Paddy and his mentality.
No, it really does. Well done once again, Paddy. I do look forward to the next fight. I think because UFC has just been in London, they normally used to go once a year. They got a fight in Paris. I think they got another fight in Europe, in Sweden around November.
Are you going to Paris?
I'm going to Paris, baby.
I'm going to Paris.
Oh,
let's go.
Paris edition. Never mind that. Oh, we going to the streets of Paris and we go to have a bloody good time, Anthony. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you speak any French?
Zero.
I
barely speak English.
Je voudrais une fraise du glace. If you ever want to order a strawberry ice cream, there you go.
There we go. Is that all you can say in French?
Où est le commissariat? Where is the police station? Où est le syndicat d'initiative? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I speak a little bit. We do French at school. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, good. You can order us beers.
Je m'appelle Michael Bisping. Anyway, whatever. Enough of that shit. I speak the absolute basics. That's all I can remember from French class. But you're coming. You're working the desk for ESPN?
I am.
Oh, that's amazing. I'll be in Bulgaria shooting this movie, flying in from there. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good. Have you ever been to Europe before, Anthony?
Yeah. I fought there. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you fought in Sweden. What am I saying? Against Alexander Gustafsson. Talking of which, perfect segue. What did you think of that?
Man, it's fucking sad. It's so sad. Like I don't know. He just doesn't look the same. I know DC's saying it's a chin issue. He didn't start the same. His movement isn't the same. He just doesn't look like he wants to be there. I do agree with DC that everyone has their expiration date.
Yep.
But he's only a year older than me. It's not, I mean, so I don't feel like
Well, how many fights has he had? Well, saying that, you've had what, 50 odd fights?
Yeah.
So
I think it's like my 52nd this weekend. So I and maybe, he's been worse. He's been at the highest level for a long time. I don't know if maybe the game is passing him up. I don't know. So, and maybe he's just not evolving the way he needs to. Maybe he doesn't love it as much as he used to. I don't know. He just doesn't look the same. He doesn't have that same kind of swag. His body language is different.
I saw him Saturday morning. I'd been out for a run, had a quick workout in the hotel, sat in the sauna. I was just going up to my room, and he came in to the little gym in the hotel to check his weight and whatnot. And he seemed very confident, very positive, seemed to be in a good place mentally. He said, "Oh yeah, I've just been doing some footwork drills. I'm flying. My footwork's great. That's going to be key to this fight." And then, I mean, listen, fair play. It takes two to tango. Nikita Krylov went out and looked. He was a killer. He caught him with that big shot straight away, and then from there, he just emptied the tank, throwing anything and everything, threw everything but the kitchen sink at him to get him out of there. And Krylov is a big, strong dude that's had some great fights that never gets the kind of the credit that he deserves. Do you know what I mean?
He's overlooked a lot.
He's overlooked. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, because he's been in there with some of the best guys in the world. Do you know what I mean? He's had some wins, he's had some losses, but he's a big, strong, formidable guy. So there's no shame for Gustafsson. But you're right. Everyone does age at different times, in terms of their athletic endeavors. You certainly seem to be going fine into your mid to late 30s. He doesn't look the same from what he was when he fought John Jones in DC the first time, not the second one. Yeah. Let's see, look at that. The second one with John Jones. You can see that, that didn't go well for him there. But hey, he's done a lot for the sport. He's brought a lot of eyeballs in Sweden. You know what I mean? He's provided some fantastic entertainment. And if he wants to try it again, try again. If he wants to go off into the sunset, then God bless him.
Right. Totally agree. I would like to see him, I don't know, maybe just kind of back down the rankings a little bit. I just would like to see, it sounds kind of messed up, but I'd like to see him against someone he absolutely should beat and just see what he looks like, because it's tough when you're kind of on a, he lost to Jones, me, Verdum, and now Krylov. So like those are all four really tough fights.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. John Jones, potentially the greatest of all time. Anthony Smith, the future GOAT, let's be honest. Who else was it? Krylov at the weekend, and Fabrizio Verdum, a former heavyweight champion. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like he's getting beaten by these fringe guys that aren't in the top 15 or anything.
And that's what I mean. Like he's not in easy fights. So I would like to see him like in an easier fight, like one that's a favorable matchup, one he absolutely should win, and just see if maybe he just needs to get his mojo back a little bit. I think sometimes people miss that. Like sometimes the confidence is key. And if you don't have the confidence and you're not coming in, on any kind of momentum, and then you get into a really tough fight, like, not that I want to toot my own horn or anything, but for me to go from losing a decision to John Jones right into a fight with the number 2 guy in the world in Alexander Gustafsson, that doesn't happen that often that guy ends up being successful. I had no momentum. I had no confidence. And the only reason I was able to do well is because I was angry. And I didn't give a fuck whether I won or lost. I just wanted to fight. So I got kind of lucky there, I think, because I was so angry. But like, had I been not angry and really focused on winning, I think I would have had a tougher time with Gustafsson.
It's really interesting what you said there, because you didn't give a fuck, and that is such a powerful mindset to have and it sounds weird to say, not caring, not giving a fuck, because when you overcare, which I used to obsess over it, you stress yourself out mentally and physically. You go into that place very, very stressed out because you're like, I have to win. I have to win this. You're stressed in the training camp, and I was taking it out on my coaches and snapping at them because I'm like, I'm feeling the pressure. I have to win. There's a book that I read a long time ago, and I've definitely got to read it again. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it says in this book, you've only got so many fucks to give, basically. You can't give a fuck about everything in the world. Otherwise, you're just going to be stressed out all the time. So it basically says to pick and choose what you give a fuck about, because you've only got so many fucks that you can give. So Do we give a fuck this weekend, Anthony? Fucking right.
Not even a little
Come
bit.
on.
Not even a little bit. I'm just so stress free. It's so weird. I can't even tell you why. I just don't give a fuck what he's going to do. It's not going to change the course of anything I'm going to do. And I think that that's what it is. It's like there is no game plan. It's go in and fight the position in front of me. That's it. Just whatever he does, I'll just deal with it. Like,
yeah,
I'll just fight. And like one of my coaches told me one time to stop thinking so much because my instincts are almost always right. It's almost like in some of these situations, like the John Jones fight, I think I had too much of a plan. And then when I went in there expecting to see something and then I didn't see it, I was kind of fucking lost a little bit.
And they're not doing what you expect.
They never do.
They never do.
They never do.
It's a cage fight with a world-class martial artist, and they're expecting you to fight a certain way. So anytime you go in there expecting anything, it never goes to plan.
And even like no one fights me the same way they fight anybody else because I'm not like anybody else. So I bring a different set of problems. I bring a different skill set. My intangibles are a little different. So it's never, and that's the same with every different opponent, I would imagine. I'm sure I don't fight every person the way that they're used to being fought, and it's just different. So when I fought John, I think if I would have just went in there and just free and just fought what was in front of me and dealt with it, I think it would have went a lot different. But when I fought Gus, I didn't give a fuck. They were like, yeah, he's got an uppercut. Like, I'll fucking deal with it when I see it. Like, I don't even care. And so like they're interviewing me before the fight and they're like, all right, so you came here in his hometown to get this win. I'm like, I didn't fucking come here to win. Like, I came here because I'm angry at the world because I just lost the most important fight of my life and I want to punch something really goddamn hard. And that's it.
Best example of going into a fight and not caring was when I knocked out Luke Rockhold and became the champ because it was on 2 weeks' notice. You know what I mean? Yes, I was. Of course, I was excited about the opportunity and the possibility, but I also realized that there's a potential that, if this goes past 2.5 rounds, I'm going to be exhausted because I haven't had a full training camp. So fuck it. It is what it is. It's a win-win. Let's go in there. We're going to make some money and I'm just going to have it. I'm just going to bring it. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the chips fall. And look what happened, Oh dear. Look at this stuff here.
Goddamn champion of the world.
Are you familiar with this stuff, Anthony?
Look at it's fucking good, huh?
Fit soda. This stuff is absolutely delicious. A little bit of orange cream soda, but it's good for you. And we'll be doing an ad read on that later. But shout out to Chris.
Have you mixed any of it with any vodka and some ice?
I don't know if you know this, Anthony, but I haven't had an alcoholic beverage in about 9 hours. I flew home yesterday. I was on a plane. I didn't get back till very, very late. So, yeah, I'm jet lagged to the max. I got in, I went to sleep, woke up. I was awake half the night, then fell asleep. But anyway, so yet to mix it. But I'm officially off the booze today. But I've said that a million times, so we'll move on from that. But hardcore diet starts today. Well, I've been dieting, but I've been traveling. It's hard when you're traveling to not have a little glass of wine or a beer. Everyone's down at the bar, hanging out. What are you going to do? Sit in your room by yourself, like some kind of nerd?
Don't be a loser.
Yeah, I'm going to go down and shoot the shit. I'm going to enjoy the atmosphere. I'm going to enjoy the camaraderie, the banter.
We lost that for a long time.
Yes, we did. And now it's back. So who am I not to embrace it and to enjoy it? You know? Anyway, Harrington. Oh, let's talk about Molly McCann real quick. Molly, whenever you see Paddy Pimblett, you'll see Molly McCann. Molly McCann. This is just basically a female version of Paddy, basically. Do you know what I mean? She really is. She's great. She's so, for, again, what we said before about Paddy, all the bravado, the the shit talk, the loudmouth persona. When it comes down to it, she's a lovely, sweet girl and fiercely loyal to those that's close to her as well. And she's fierce when she's in the ring. I think she was probably her favorite going into that matchup. Last time out, she got the spinning elbow knockout. Of course, when you do that, you want to try and get another one. But I thought, no way, you ain't going to do that. Bloody well lands it against the fence and then unleashes with a beautiful combination. I mean, hey, it was a great stoppage.
Yeah, she's fucking nasty. Like, that's the biggest difference I see. She's obviously got all the skill set in the world. She's striking is good. Her wrestling is great. Her physicality is really impressive. But she is just mean.
Yeah.
She's just really mean and nasty. And that's where I see the biggest difference with her versus some of these other girls. She's just meaner than they are, and I think sometimes those little intangibles like that go a long way. But I couldn't believe it when she spun. I was like, "Are you seriously going to try this shit again?"
He's like, "Come on."
Oh yeah, that was kind of the feeling I had. Like,
get a grip,
like,
woman.
Oh, you think you're just better than everyone? You get 2 spinning elbow knockouts? That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't got one.
Yeah,
you got any spinning knockouts?
Why have you got to put my face in it, Anthony? No, I don't. Okay, I don't have a spinning elbow knockout. I'm a loser.
I don't either. I don't have one. I spun one time and missed completely.
I used to do spinning back kicks, the occasional spinning back fist. You know what I mean? I throw spinning elbows now. I've got one of those bags. What do you call them? Doing, doing, doing. They go back and forth, like the reflex bags, I think they are.
Oh, yeah.
I bought one of them recently. Fucking love working out on that. It's in the garage. So now instead of just hitting the heavy bag, I'll do a round on that, and then I have a bunch of different bags now. But I love throwing the spinning elbows and stuff on that thing. It's great. Just got to get someone to come in and film me doing it one day for Instagram. I'm like, come on, someone come and fucking film me while I land it. All right, guys, if you haven't heard, it's Smooth Sack Summer. Yes, with Manscaped. This is the summer to keep your balls cool while still looking hot with Manscaped, the leader in below the belt grooming. Okay, listen, this summer, make sure your sack is smooth by going to manscaped.com and using the code BELIEVE20 for 20% off and free shipping. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything that you need to prepare for that summer bod. Inside the package, you will find the lawnmower trimmer 4.0, the weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the crop preserver ball deodorant, the crop reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold them all in. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features cutting-edge ceramic blade technology to reduce those grooming accidents, okay, with that skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor. It has a light on it. It has a charging stand. I mean, come on. Listen, this thing, if you've got the one, get the two. If you've got the two, get the three. If you've got the three, you know where this is going. You got to get the 4.0. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped boxes and the Shed travel bag, as I mentioned before. Oh, yeah, and listen, wearing sandals with nasty toenails during summer months, that's a big no. So take a look at the Shears 2.0, a luxury nail grooming kit. The kit includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. With the Performance Package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure to cover the rest with the Shears 2.0. Listen, if you haven't done this already, you got to get this product. Go to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping when you use the code Bisping20. Anyway, moving on. Brian Harrington. Wow. Jet lag. Harrington, come on. Throw a news story at us. Not anything to do with, what is it this weekend? 279?
277.
277. Yeah.
Okay, you want something from the MMA world or something from the world?
Anthony, what would you like? It's your birthday after all.
It is my birthday. Let's go the world.
Oh.
All right. So check this out. A Brooklyn bishop was robbed of over $1 million in jewelry between him and his wife that they both had on their person during a Sunday service, and it happened while they were live streaming to parishioners around the world.
Hold on, when you say a Brooklyn bishop, you mean a priest?
I mean, yeah, he's a bishop, and he lives in Brooklyn.
Well, I don't know. I thought that Brooklyn bishop could have been the name of a rapper or something. You know,
okay.
And when he's having
That's
a
good rap
million,
name.
Yeah, Brooklyn bishop. It is a good rap name. But what's a Brooklyn bishop or any kind of bishop, for that matter, doing with $1 million worth of jewels just lying around?
Well, he claims he's a man. He's a man of God, and he worked very hard for everything that he has.
Yeah,
and he chooses to wear it out. I mean,
God. It's the biggest scam on the fucking planet. Mm-hmm. The Catholic Church, and they're so loaded, ripped people off for fucking years, taking what they want, pieces of shit to them. And still, anyway, go on, play the tape.
Well, I mean, the man was at one point in his life arrested for identity fraud amongst a laundry list of other crimes. But he's since, like I said, he turned it around. He's a man of God now, and he has over $1 million in jewelry that can be taken off.
Hold on, before we play it. Who's that other one? Hold on, go on then, press play.
Yo.
Does that?
All right. As Bishop Lamar Whitehead delivered his sermon inside his church in Canarsie, the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, police say 3 masked, armed men burst in and stole more than $1 million worth of jewelry, including a Rolex, from the bishop and his wife. The church's live stream captured the robbery.
When I see them come into the sanctuary.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Well, so I mean, why are they rocking Rolexes?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't got no goddamn Rolex. I mean, I'm sure Michael Bisping has a Rolex, but I don't have a Rolex.
You will have a Rolex, Anthony, one day. I'll tell you who else got a Rolex. Paddy and Molly from Drake. You hear that?
That's bullshit. Yeah, it's awesome. But I want a Rolex. I'm just jealous. I'm saying it's bullshit.
I've got a few. I've got a few. I've never paid for one of them, though.
It's that champ life.
I never paid for one of them. I had a friend that I did business with that had a connection with a watch guy, and he just very kindly gave me some. But yeah, sitting there with $1 million worth of jewels on him and Rolexes and whatnot.
Preaching about God. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're passing the collection tray around. This is how you know it's bullshit, right? Because my uncle very sadly passed away recently, and I'm born into a Roman Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic, never go to church, and I don't believe. He was a Roman Catholic. When they wanted to have him buried, the priest said, no, you haven't been coming to church. You haven't been coming to church, so we're not burying him. So they couldn't have a church service at his church, right? But and if you break that down, I guarantee it's because they weren't there every week paying into the collection basket as it comes round. That's what his real fucking issue is.
Yeah, that's total bullshit.
Because
that's crazy.
Yeah, because it should be, oh God, he wasn't here, but forgiveness is the number one thing that we practice and preach. And, we're going to welcome into heaven with open arms. But no, you weren't here.
But not here.
But not here. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, we better get off because I don't want to offend everybody. God bless you. God bless you all. Unless I believe you me. God bless. Give me some. I'm looking at these notes. Go on, Harrington. What's on your mind?
Oh, I was going to say, I got one from the notes that I want to get your take on because I think it's actually kind of interesting, especially as England's favorite son that's ever fought in the UFC. Paddy's comments about the O2.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he said the O2 can't hold him anymore. Here's the exact quote. I know I won't be fighting the O2 again. It's too small. We will do Anfield. I promise you now. Dana said he won't do Anfield, but he also said women will never fight in the UFC. Then Ronda Rousey came along. He said he won't do a stadium in the UK, but the baddies come along, so he will.
Yeah, listen, no offense to him. Of course, I love the confidence, and I love how they all go around and they say that massive venues like the O2 Arena are no longer big enough for him. That's not true. If Conor McGregor never got his stadium show, right, which he hasn't, I don't think Paddy's going to. Paddy is a great star, and God knows where he's going to go to, and he's huge. But McGregor's by far the biggest star in the sport. I mean, the man's an absolute phenom, love him or hate him. He never got his stadium show. Croke Park, he was calling for that for years. There's a bunch of stadiums around the UK they could have used. They just never did it. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure what the reason is. Probably the weather, because
I was going to say it's probably the weather, right?
The weather's a real issue, I mean, they did do Anthony Joshua at the Tottenham Hotspur football ground. I think it was Tottenham versus Alexander Usyk. So that was a huge scene, and that was open air in the middle of summer. But yeah, I don't see that happening. What about you?
No, I think there's too much promotion and marketing and all that shit to go on for it to rain all goddamn day in the UK. You know what I mean?
Imagine that you're fighting in the octagon and it's pissing down with rain. It's slipping all over the place.
That'd be too tough. That'd be too. I just don't think the UFC would risk that.
That said, though, I do believe that the Tottenham Hotspur did have the ceiling is like retractable. Do you know what I mean? So if the weather's nice, it'll open up. If not, it'll cover. You never know. I think UFC's been there twice already. Their next fight, and they'll probably both fight on the same card. Probably Madison Square Garden, right? That's
end of the year.
That's a big venue. I think they will put them on pay-per-views. Just what's the word I'm looking for? To build that star even further. Now put him on pay-per-views, expose him to the US audience, put him at Madison Square Garden, and then by then back at the O2 in March.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I think end of the year and then March. I would love to go to a fight in the UK though. That's my goal. If I'm not working it or whatever, I want to at least want to go.
Well, you're coming to Paris, which isn't the UK, of course. So I apologize. But hopefully sometime
I'm at the
soon.
O2, I guess.
Yeah. No, it is good. What's Paulo Costa up to? Harrington. I see Paulo Costa accuses USADA of testing him so much that they can take his pee and sell it without his consent.
So Paulo Costa just pointed out an infographic here. The top 10 Brazilian UFC stars who were tested in 2021. Jose Aldo 13 times, Amanda Nunes 14 times. Those are 3 and 2. Paulo Costa 189 times. So that's more than everyone else in Brazil combined times like 5. So he's saying that he thinks USADA is.
That's a lot of tests.
That's a lot of fucking tests.
So he's saying, look, the only reason USADA could be doing this is that they are taking my bodily fluids and selling them without my consent. Please give me a cut of the money you are making from this black market pee trip.
Well, obviously he's being silly there. He's having a little bit of a laugh. But Anthony, the process of when they come to test you, it takes a while. It's a pain in the backside. So to go through that 189 times, I'm not surprised.
And how long? 189 times and how long?
In the year 2021.
No, they didn't. They did not test him 189 times in the year 2021. That is going every other day pretty much.
Isn't all that stuff tracked?
Let's just see what Harrington's going to say now, because that cannot be true.
So I don't speak Portuguese, right? But what this infographic is saying, it says top 10 Brasileiros mais testados M 2021. I would assume that means Brazilian fighters tested in 2021.
Well, you know what they say about assumption, don't they? It's the mother of all fuck-ups. That could mean up to 2021. I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese, but,
Then that means Jose Aldo's only...
They're testing him 189 times in 1 year.
To be fair, if they test him for blood and urine in one sitting, that counts as 2.
Does it? So we're saying every 4 days. Again, I still know about. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
But it's expensive.
In 2021, I was tested. I don't know the exact 3, maybe.
Right.
Like other than fighting,
it's a bit of a jump from 3 to 189.
Like all year, 2 or 3 times.
That's like the USADA Brazilian officer, just like, right,
this year? I've been tested once this year.
Once, USADA.
Once.
Get on Anthony Smith. He's putting all kinds of shit in his body.
They're going to have to once they see these fucking pipes.
How are we looking with the shirt off? Are you confident? You happy? You like that reflection?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I can't wait.
Yeah. I love the fight shape. It's like, and every time you're like, I'm going to stay like this.
Wake up when you're like 4 or 5 pounds away, when you're like not sucked down, but like cut up a little bit. He's taking all the pictures and shit. Save it up for the Instagram later.
Yeah, 100%. And I used to say, and this time I'm not putting weight back on. This is how I'm going to stay every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week later.
Year round.
Yeah, year round, baby. Of course. All right, what else we got? Nikita Krylov at UFC London.
Mr. Bisping, I am running out of time, though.
Well, you go. Oh, hold on. Well, let's just do one more, and then
let's do one more.
Do one more, and then you go, and then you leave me with what's his face?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. What's the biggest one on here, Harrington?
Probably Michael Chandler this week said that he is going to have a fight announcement sometime later this week, and it might involve the name Dustin Poirier.
I fucking hope so.
I hope so. Why do you hope so?
I just think it's an interesting matchup. I just think it's a good fight. I think they're both in similar positions. I know Poirier's, coming off some losses, but I just like the fight. And I like that they have a little bit of beef. It adds a little spice to it.
Yeah, well, they were going at each other at the last pay-per-view, weren't they? Anytime, some footage of that emerges, you're both in the same weight class, you're both stars, you're both top 5 or top 10. They're going to make the matchup. And as a fan, I mean, what a fight that is, Poirier said he's moved on from the McGregor trilogy or the series or whatever it is you want to call it. He said, listen, I beat him twice in a row. The only reason I'll do that for is for money, which is a good reason to do it. But still, he said he wants fresh challenges. It's a fantastic reason. It's
also a good way to piss off Conor.
It's the reason. That is good though.
It's a good way to piss off Conor and then get more money when Conor's begging for that fight too.
Yeah. Hey, did we?
Your wife's in me DMs.
Your wife's in my DMs. That was not good. Thoughts real quick and we'll let you go on Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. That got announced. I don't believe we spoke about that, did we?
No, oh man, I have so much respect for Nate Diaz, but I think Dan Hardy went a little hard on some of the things that he said talking about the UFC.
Go on, tell me, because he's obviously a UFC hater these days.
Yeah, saying that he thinks people, we should really start looking into pressing charges on the UFC, and this is an assassination attempt.
Are you serious?
Listen,
pressing charges.
I think he was a little dramatic. I love Dan, but I think he was a little dramatic there. But I get his point though. It's like Nate Diaz could fuck around and make it tough, maybe, but he's aging. And he's not the same guy that he was. He doesn't have the same ability to take damage that he used to have. Chimaev is the worst possible matchup for him if he was in the greatest shape of his life. If he was young and still killing it, it's a terrible matchup.
I don't get it, and I know I'm going to sound like a proper company man here. Diaz gets paid a fortune. He gets paid a fortune.
Fair.
They're going to put him in the biggest matchup possible. The world's super excited about this fight. Yeah, it's a tough one for Diaz. Yeah, he's probably going to lose, but he could pull off.
You asked me about the matchup, not if I wanted to watch it. I absolutely want to watch it.
I know, but I see a lot of matchup. Well, it is, but fucking hell, I've had terrible matchups. I've had gone up against hardcore wrestlers and oh god, this is a tough one. Do you know what I mean? You're in the UFC, you get paid a lot. You carry yourself a certain way, and you're parting ways. I feel like it's natural, but still. Dan's out of his mind there, but I did get a lot of shit off people.
You do sound like a UFC show.
Oh fuck you, Anthony Smith! Jesus Christ! I hope Magomed Ankalaev smashes your fucking head in.
I 100% agree with what you said. Though, when you make the type of money that Nate Diaz makes, you don't get any easy fights.
What are they gonna do?
And listen, like if you own a regular ass business and you got an employee that's leaving and they put their 2 weeks notice in, like, are you going to do everything you can to build their star or build their resume so that they make another company more money? Like, unlikely.
So
unlikely you're going to help you're not going to help a competitor. You're not going to build up an employee so that they can go work for the competitor and help them make more money. Like, it's just not going to happen.
That's a great way of putting it and to try and get people to understand. So let's just say you own a super successful, I don't know what it is, some kind of business that, you take apprentices on. You take an apprentice on.
Say it's a mechanic shop. You work on cars. You fix cars. You're not going to give a mechanic a whole shit ton of knowledge so that he can go to another mechanic shop and make them more money and take your business. Like,
they're going to go work for your competition across the street, and you're gonna big them up and promote them right before they go. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he is going to get promoted, he is going to get bigged up, but he is probably also going to lose that fight. And I have I don't really have any issue with it. That's what we sign up for. You know what I mean? And I know Nate Diaz is a confident man. He carries himself in that regard. Do you know what I mean? And he'll go into this one thinking he can win. And that's why people love Nate Diaz. So,
well, when you talk about the size of his check, I'm not going to clutch my pearls for Nate Diaz. Like, I'm not going to feel bad about it. Like, he is going to get a fantastic check.
Of course, they'll be on pay-per-view. That will sell. Mm-hmm. That will be a big fight. They will sell. They're both main event. Probably both going to get a slice of the pay-per-view. I don't know, because it's very rare they have non-title fights as pay-per-view. It has happened. But still, it's interesting. Right, Anthony, it's your birthday. You get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
On behalf of myself, the whole team, all the believers, we wish you nothing but the best of success at the weekend, mate. Go out there, show the world what you can do. Cannot wait to see it. I'm sure you're going to be victorious, and we can't wait to talk to you after. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your birthday.
Thanks, guys.
Hope all the preparation goes well. And any one final message for the believers?
No, I just appreciate the shit out of everybody, man. It's been this whole, coming on to the podcast has been it's been a lot of fucking fun. So I feel like I got a whole lot more fans and followers and people kind of riding with me into this one. So can't wait to talk afterwards.
Yep. Well, we all love you, buddy. All the best. Get out of here. Take care.
Take care. I'll see you guys on the other side.
See you on the other side, bud. And there he is, the one and only Lionheart Smith. Busy day for him, obviously. Birthday today. He's got children. He's got a wife. He's going to get on a plane and fly to Dallas. He's got to cut weight. He's going to lose, what did he say? 21 goddamn pounds. So that was just so great of him, in my opinion, just to give us 66 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes of his time anyway on such a busy day. But anyway, we'll be back in a second. All right, listen, I mentioned it before, but Fit Soda. I've got to tell you about this. So first of all, they're a newer sponsor. They've come on board. I love this company. I love the guys that run it. They are amazing people. But this is an amazing product, right? I don't know if you're like me, but I crave something fizzy, right? But we know soda's not good for you, okay? It makes you obese. It makes you fat and all this type of stuff. And it's just not a healthy thing to drink. Until now, Fit Soda is a hydration drink. Fit Soda contains branch chain amino acids for recovery. It has electrolytes for hydration. It has 0 calories and it tastes amazing. God. Listen, I'm drinking right here the orange cream. Oh my God, absolutely delicious. Also got the root beer float and they got the sparkling citrus. Listen, at the end of the day, this is guilt-free soda drinking, okay? So you got to give it a try. It tastes delicious. It's good for you. It's going to hydrate you. It's going to give you branch chain amino acids, which if you know anything about nutrition, you want to be getting them in. So ditch all your other ones, your Coke Zeros, your Diet Cokes, or any kind of diet sodas. That's a load of shit. This will keep you fit. Oh, that rhymed. It did. And that didn't. So anyway, as I said, Fit Soda, trust me, give it a try. You're going to absolutely love this product. All you're going to do, go to fitsoda.com, use the promo code BELIEVE. You're going to get a whopping 20% off your order, okay? Next time you crave something fizzy, something carbonated, when you want a soft drink, you want a soda, make sure it is Fit Soda. Go to fitsoda.com, use the code BELIEVE for a huge 20% off. All right, so obviously Anthony Smith is off on his travels, and as I said, best of luck. And now it is just me and you, Michael Harrington. Curtis Blades had something interesting to say regarding the fight Saturday night. Break it down for me.
So Curtis said, I'm not going to fight someone, again, ranked below me. I did it for Aspinall because I knew a win over him would be legitimate, and he's ranked six, but could easily be top 5. So that was different. But I'm not going to fight someone ranked below me. I want the winner of Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Gane. I earned it. I deserve it. I've been in the top 5 since 2018. Ever since I beat Alistair, I deserve a title eliminator fight. And then, especially with Tom, I'm not risking my ranking with a rematch. I won the fight. Heading into this fight, I envisioned the winner, which is me, would be fighting the winner of Tuivasa versus Gane. So I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to fight those guys when it's right there and wait for Tom to heal and run it back.
Yeah, I understand. I understand why he would feel like that. I mean, if he has been top 5 since 2018, he should be getting top opponents. This fight was seen as kind of like a semi-final or quarter-final matchup, between him and Tom, and then Ty and Cyril in Paris next month, So he should get the winner of that. Regarding fighting Tom again, listen, I love Tom. But I get it. He's been there, done it. I hope they will fight down the line. You never know if one of them ends up becoming champion. That could be a defense or whatever, or maybe a number 1 contender matchup down the line. But right now, for Curtis Blades, he's been there. He's done a training camp for it. He's flown out here. Regardless of the situation, nobody wants to win like that. But the sad reality is, if I separate my friendship with Tom for 1 second, Curtis came and he got his hands raised. It's a combat sport. He threw some shots and he went down and he hurt himself. It wasn't a foul. Shouldn't be called a no contest. Sadly, if you hurt yourself and you can't continue in a manner just through the combat, like Brian Ortega last week against Yair Rodriguez, Curtis did win. It's fair and square. It was unfortunate for Tom, though. It was more Tom's doing than Curtis Blade's doing. But it's not fair on Curtis for him to have to just basically tread water now for the next few months while Tom gets ready and they do it all over again. Do you know what I mean? For Tom, though, and I told him because I saw him on Sunday morning. I was down in the hotel lobby and we had a quick chat. Tom was like, I'm embarrassed more than anything. I'm like, well, first of all, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Nothing at all to be embarrassed about. It takes balls to step in there in the first place. Things go wrong in there. Things go wrong all the time. This is the consequences which are at stake when you compete in a sport like this. Fingers crossed, if it is the MCL and it's a quick recovery, you never know. Tom could fight the loser of Cyril Gane and Tai Tuivasa. You know what I mean? Curtis fights the winner. So realistically, he's only one step behind, So I get Curtis, and for Tom, there's a little bit of hopefully a bit of inspiration. Because we all need a bit of inspiration, What else you got real quick?
All right, real quick. Let's see here. Head coach of the New England Cartel, Tyson Chartier, says that Calvin Kattar has contacted the UFC to request a fight with Arnold Allen.
Oh, really? Oh, good. I'm glad. Number one, I like the matchup. I think for fans, that would be tremendous. Calvin Kattar, when did we last see him? Did he just lose? No, he just beat Josh Emmett.
No, he lost to Josh Emmett.
Oh, that's right. No, yeah, very, very close. Yeah. A lot of people were divided on that one. A lot of people thought he should have won. Fantastic fight. Yeah, I like that. Arnold Allen deserves a big fight. Arnold Allen deserves someone with a lot of name recognition. Allen and Calvin Kattar, great fight. Could be a fight night main event even. So Arnold Allen, if he gets through that, he would be on a 10-fight win streak over a big, big name. So yeah, no, I love that. Good call.
Yeah, it's a good fight for both men. And certainly, I mean, now if it's the fight that Kattar's looking for, and we heard Arnold Allen say it on this show like 2 weeks ago, that's the fight he's looking for. I mean, how hard is that at that point? Once it's two guys who definitely do want to fight each other, once the UFC gets involved, how long does it usually take to get the contract signed and get it going?
Well, it depends. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, for Calvin Kattar and Arnold Allen, they're tremendous fighters and they're very popular, but we're not dealing with a Conor McGregor or an Izzy or someone of that magnitude that, sometimes and this is what frustrates Dana, and, you always hear him say that they're under contract, but they try and negotiate every fight as like a separate deal. If the UFC want to do it, it's just a case of sending out bout agreements and getting it signed, picking a location, picking a date, of course, all those things. So yeah, very, very good. Anyway, all right, I have been away. I've been out of town for a long, long time, so I'm going to... Anthony Smith's gone. Let's be honest. The show is bloody over. It's over. I'm kidding, of course. Always great talking with you, Harrington. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear them. We're going to answer them in just a second. But you know the drill by now. bympod@gmail.com. That is where you send them. Harrington, over to you.
If you are enjoying the show on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure to subscribe to the show. Leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps the show out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and you click that notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. And if you want to catch over 300 episodes you can't find anywhere else, head on over to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial and get locked into that rate that is going up on September 1st.
All right, Brian, over to you, my friend. And if anyone's listening and you're thinking that the audio is a little bit off today, that is my fault. It's not Brian's fault. It's not anyone's fault. My microphone kind of messed up, so I'm using a different mic. And I know it's giving Brian fits. That's the first time we've seen him smile.
I'm having a stroke. It's fine. It's fine.
I know. Don't worry. It's not your fault, Brian. But do we have any questions?
We do. And this one is from our missing friend, Roland Vixer.
Oh, it's been a long time. No sound, Brian. No sound.
Sexy. It just took him forever to get there.
Wait, go back. I want to see this from the start.
Hello. Sexy Mike. No homo. And sexy Tony. No homo. This is Roland Vixer from Germany. Your nicknames are well known. The Count and Lionheart. So would you be annoyed if someone joined the UFC and just took your nickname? And what would you tell them if they asked for your permission first?
Oh, I want to know what is going on in the mind of that man. I mean, come on, let's be honest. He is absolutely hilarious. He's brilliant. I love it. Anytime we get a question, always entertaining. And that's the type of thing that we want. Please, people. Roland Vixar from Germany. Yeah, what a delivery. What a delivery of a question. What a psycho. Again, we've had this conversation. He's not German. There's no way he's not sending him from Germany. Where do you think he's from?
If I had to guess, probably your backyard, like somewhere in California.
Yeah.
Like Nebraska or something. Like somewhere where he's just bored as fuck.
Yeah, he's bored as fuck. He's got the handlebar mustache. He's riding a Harley Davidson. He is not in Germany. But whatever. We like it. The Count. Obviously, Anthony isn't here. I've told Callum that if he ever fights, it's going to be Callum the Count Bisping. And he refuses. He's like, no. I'm like, son, that you are a Count. Not only is it a name, you are a Count technically in Poland. Doesn't mean anything to this day, but it's true. Come on, you're going to rock it. And he's like, no. Anyone else? I couldn't care less. I don't own a trademark to that name, so yeah, and it'd be a nice little compliment.
Yeah, I've always thought that with fighters. Like, there's only so many of these nicknames to go around, right? Like, eventually, there's just gonna be overlap. So, like, guys don't get pissed. Like, guys, how does that look? Like, is it considered an homage to you? Would you consider it like a tribute to you?
Well, I mean, I've never experienced it, and I don't think I will really, to be honest. But like, look at the amount of pit bulls that there is. Pitbull is like got to be one of the most common. Who you got? Thiago Alves, you got Andre Arlovski. They're two off the top of my head, and I guarantee there is many. Oh yeah, Patricky the Pitbull. There you go. There's another one. There's loads. Yeah, an homage? No, they just like it. Unoriginal. Yeah, that's about it. What else have we got, Bri?
All right, we got one here from Kiki.
Oh, Kiki. What's going on, Kiki?
Hey, Bisping, Anthony, Brian, and Harrington. This is Kiki, not Diane, for another video question. So my question is, have you guys ever felt like during your careers you were in a rut in terms of maybe on a losing skid, or you just weren't feeling as motivated to go to camp or training? If so, how did you get out of the rut? Was it a change in the level of opponent? Was it a change in terms of where you had your camp, whether it was shorter? I'm curious, how do fighters typically get out of a rut whenever they're on a losing skid? Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good week, guys. Bye.
Well, thank you, Kiki, and we hope you're well, and we appreciate the question. And that's actually a really, really good question, and I do wish Anthony was here to answer that because, and this sounds like I'm talking shit about him, but he could probably answer that one a little better. I can talk about the mental challenges. Of course, I lost fights, but I never lost more than one in a row. I went back and forth a few times. Anthony was released from the organization at one point. So he came back, and on his second run, he's doing fantastic things. So I'm sure he could elaborate to that on what that thought process was like. But being in a rut, I don't know. I don't think I ever was. I mean, I had good phases and bad phases. I had problems with the people I was training with and things like that. But mentally and performance-wise, never really felt like I was dipping. I mean, I lost an eyeball. That's a bit of a rut. That was a little bit of a sticky situation, bit of an adjustment period and things like that. But in terms of a career downside and having the mental, I guess I never gave up, and I never felt like I was in a rut. And I always felt I could do better because what I was trying to achieve. And those goals were always still there. And those goals weren't becoming champion of the world. The goal was just to look after my family. Do you know what I mean? And whilst I've got a family and whilst I've got 3 children, I have to provide for them. That is my role in life. I'm the provider, So that I never questioned it. And of course, I wanted to be the champ, but that's because that's how you make the most money. And, for personal reasons, of course, you're competing in a sport. Who's going to tell you that they don't want to be champion of the world? Everyone does. But more importantly, the bigger picture was providing for the family. And now we're getting boring. And now we're going to hang up. Harrington, what are you doing for the rest of the week?
Rest of the week, I have just a bunch of stuff at Gas Digital, a bunch of stuff at my comedy club. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
How was your weekend? Where did you watch the fights?
Dude, I was in Cape May this weekend, a little shore town by the Jersey Shore. It was so nice.
Oh, nice. What were you doing down there?
My girlfriend's family got like a nice little block of rooms, like literally right across from the beach. So yeah, just every morning, wake up at 8, head out to the beach. I was watching the fights on the beach. That was nice. That was a lot of fun.
Well, that's 2 weeks in a row now that in the States, early fights, and 2 weeks in a row for the UK to have fights at a reasonable time as well. Because again, in the UK or Europe, Australia is not too bad because they watch fights Sunday morning, having a barbecue, having a beer, whatever. But for Europe and a lot of places not too far east, the time is it's hard to be an MMA fan. In fact, I have people talking shit to me sometimes because I'll do like an instant reaction video of a fight at the Apex. I'll break down the action, whatever, put it on YouTube. And in the comments, people are like, you're a dick. I haven't watched the fight yet. I haven't watched the fight and I didn't want to know the result. May I suggest to you that you're not on YouTube searching up mixed martial arts action, okay? You have to stay off. If you don't want to see the result, you got to stay off social media altogether.
Absolutely have to. And I mean, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. So yeah, that's where you're going to find news. I find most of my news from YouTube.
What is the first? Google?
Google, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Fucking my laptop keeps changing to Bing. Anytime I do a search on Google, it switches over to Bing. And it does my fucking head. It's shit. It's useless. It doesn't bring up half the results. I don't like the layout. So I always have to press back page and then search it again on Google and it stays there. I've looked up my settings and my system preferences. It's set to Google. But it must be like a bug or something. It just keeps going to that Bing.
Yeah, I got that for Yahoo on my office computer, and it's a game every single time. Like I'll click something, I'll be like, this doesn't look right. Then I'll see the top right hand corner with the big Y, and I got to go in and change all my browser settings. It's a nightmare.
Goddamn. Anyway, all right, that's the show, guys. I'm gonna go and see my family. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll be previewing the big pay-per-view happening this week, and of course, Amanda Nunes, the Lioness, taking on Juliana Pena, trying to see if Pena can go out there and shock the world once again. Of course, Anthony Smith, Magomed Ankalaev, and a great fight card as well. So wherever you are in the world, take care. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.